Let's go! The Niners are on top of the NFC. You love to see it. You love to hear it. Oh my God. Thank you, Seattle. Thank you, Seattle. I never thought in a million years that I'd be happy that the Seattle Seahawks won. Drew Lock, Legacy Drive, Jackson Smith and Jigba, DK Metcalf. Thank you. The Eagles have lost 3 in a row. Cry, Eagles, cry. The 49ers may have broke the Eagles. Wow, bang, bang, Seattle gang. Should we get them a present? Should we give them a present for Christmas? I feel like we might need to give the Seahawks a present. No. Thank you for helping us, but it's still F Seattle. Oh my God. Oh my God. I love it. I'm so happy right now. Number 1 seed, ladies and gentlemen. The number 1 seed. You love to hear it. The interception fraud. Jalen Hurts is not an MVP. Brock Purdy is an MVP. My man McGruber says we gave everyone the blueprints. We gave them the blueprints. Woo! Nick Bosa was right. Nick Bosa was right. Oh, man. DK Metcalf saw the comments on Twitter and was like, this is my legacy. Yo, DK Metcalf, shout out to him. He stepped up in that game. Amazing game for him. But you notice how DK Metcalf can't do that against Mooney Ward. That's all I'm going to say. DK Metcalf came to play. Drew Lock, ladies and gentlemen. Drew Lock beat the Eagles. Bradbury got cooked. Debo was right. Bradbury got cooked up. The Niners never lied to y'all. Oh, my God, man. What a win for Seattle. Hurts with the flu game, threw 2 interceptions. The only thing they can do is the tush push. The Niners have a real chance. Let's talk about the, you know what? Good for the Seahawks. They got their moment. The 49ers, ladies and gentlemen, have a very good chance to be the number 1 seed. Check this out, guys. Check it out. Let me tell you some scenarios. We got to talk about the scenarios, man. Look at this. Okay. The 49ers can clinch the number 1 seed as early as next week, guys. Check it out. If they beat the Ravens, which is a big game, they also have to have an Eagles loss versus the Giants, a Cowboys loss versus the Dolphins, and a Lions loss versus the Vikings. So if all those things happen, the Eagles lose, the Cowboys lose, the Lions lose, and the Niners win, they'll clinch the number 1 seed next week. They don't have that. I mean, that's just if they want to clinch it next week. The 49ers need to win 2 of the final 3 games no matter what else happens. So even if they lose to Baltimore, if they win the last 2 games, Ravens, if you lose to Ravens, it doesn't matter. You can beat the Rams and the Commanders, and you are the number 1 seed because they have a game lead over every NFC team, guys. They sit at 11-3, have a 1-game lead over every other NFC team. They only need to win 2 out of their last 3 games. God, dog. Do you know how happy I am? This is incredible. It's incredible. You clinch the number 1 seed with 2 more wins. Clinch the number 1 seed with 2 more wins. Wow. The path to the Super Bowl is going to go through Levi Stadium, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to have if it happens the way it goes, guess what? Guess what, guys? We get a first-round bye. A first-round bye, you get 2 home games and a chance to make it to the Super Bowl through your stadium. This is what we've been wanting. This is what we kept on saying. This is what we've been wanting. The 49ers need that chance to ride it out and play the games at home in the playoffs instead of traveling. And now they have 2 legit Super Bowl contenders, 2 legit MVP contenders. His team is locked and loaded. The 49ers are on their way. If they can go through Levi Stadium, this is what we've said all season long. Win these games, get the number 1 seed, and you will be on your way to Super Bowl. Guys, we have a chance to win the Super Bowl. This is unbelievable, man. Enrique says, I have never clapped for a Seahawks touchdown like today. Absolutely, bro. I can't believe I actually was screaming when Drew Lock threw that touchdown to Najigba. I was like, oh my God. I couldn't believe it. I was hyped up because the 49ers benefited from that. Oh my God, man. Oh, man. You know they're going to play focus after the Eagles lost. Absolutely. You're right, man. They gotta stay focused. Eric says we need to stay healthy. Only thing that can stop us, absolutely. Uncle Sherm, we gotta call Uncle Sherm. We'll call him on IG later. The 49ers are the best team in the NFL, says Jocelyn. Absolutely. Danny says, all I want for Christmas is that 6 Lombardi. Oh, my God. Russell says, I felt dirty cheering for the Seahawks. Bro, not going to lie. Today I posted that on Twitter. I was like, I kind of want both teams to lose. Like, I felt dirty. I felt like a disgusting human being rooting for the Seahawks tonight. Like, never again, never again. I felt like I had, like, dirt on my fingers. I felt like I had just, like, rolled in a pile of dirt rooting for the Seahawks. But you know what? They came through, and I'm happy because we needed that dub, but it definitely felt grimy rooting for the Seahawks, man. They are the dirty birds. Yeah, Eric says we cheated on the Niners today. We cheated on them, you know. We had a little side chick. We had a little deal with the side chick, the Sea Chickens. We said, yo, baby girl, come here. Do me a solid. Do me a solid. And they came through, bro. Drew Lock. It's crazy, man. My man Gabriel was good. He said, we basically have 2 bye weeks. Yeah, man. I mean, they got to beat the Ravens. But if you don't, again, you can still win the number 1 seed by winning those last 2 weeks. And then you get an extra week to chill. This week, you get an extra day. So, man, I love it. Brock Purdy, though, next week, this is the game to determine the MVP, really, if you think about it. Lamar, Brock Purdy, toe-to-toe. I think that's going to determine the MVP right there. God, man. A.J. Brown and the Seahawks security guard. A.J. Brown was throwing tantrums today. A.J. Brown was a diva tonight. Big Dom looking like a fool, man. You got to love it, man. Jocelyn says, it felt wrong rooting for the Seahawks, but we still got that number 1 seed. It definitely felt wrong, guys. It felt so wrong. Super Bowl preview next week, says Supreme. Ooh, Niners says the Eagles pack is still hidden. Absolutely. Marky says beat the Ravens and the Commanders and rest the starters for if the 49ers can beat the Ravens and the Commanders, you rest them against the Rams. Absolutely. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that because you have the number 1 seed. You want to rest, you'll have 2 bye weeks, like my boy Gabriel said. Oh, man. Dang, man. Team's never the same after we spank them. Says Gabriel. Absolutely, the 49ers are breaking teams. They put the Eagles on notice, guys. They put them on notice. Fraud alert. Fraudulence. I love it. I love it, man. I absolutely love it. Robert says, I don't want to be rusty, though. Yeah, you know, that's the one thing about resting players in the bye week. That's the only concern is you're going to have a lot of time off. You might be low-key rusty. But, hey, home game, you're going to be rested. You'll be healthy. That's another big thing. So it is a balance. Like, I think you're going to have to play a little bit because you don't want to get rusty, but you don't want to risk any injuries. You know what I mean? So the Nick Bosa blueprint for the Eagles. Yo, Nick Bosa said this a couple weeks ago that they put the blueprint on the Eagles, and they've lost 3 straight games since Nick Bosa said, like, they've lost 3 games. Nick Bosa wasn't lying to y'all. And then, you know, that the former player, I don't even remember his name. The former player came out and attacked Nick Bosa, talking reckless. Well, Nick Bosa, you did nothing against Lane Johnson. Nick Bosa exposed him. He was crying on Twitter. And then, boom, the Eagles have proceeded to lose 3 games in a row. They lost to the Niners, they lost to the Cowboys, and they lost to the Seattle Seahawks. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. My man, depressed Niners fan says, notice how Philly started going downhill once they started showing Big Dom up on the stands? Yeah, man, that guy's an idiot. He's a fool. But honestly, look at the game. Jalen Hurts was absolutely dominated tonight. He threw 2 interceptions. I know he had the flu. He didn't practice all week. But that was a huge, you know, turn of events. He didn't play great. He wasn't sharp. He was making mistakes. Seattle played tough. And guess what? The Seattle Seahawks continue to own the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia has not beaten them in the last 15 years, ladies and gentlemen. 15 years. If there's a team that owns a team, Seattle Seahawks are the owners of the Philadelphia Eagles. I threw that stat up the other day, and I was like, I don't know. Whenever they throw those stats out, I don't know. But today the Seahawks delivered, and they got another year of owning the Eagles. I love it, man. Absolutely love it. They cannot beat them. The Seattle Seahawks literally own the Eagles. Imagine being owned by the Seahawks. I mean, they used to cook us, but it feels good to see them owning another team instead of the Niners, man. This man said, Gabriel said he tried to be like the Jordan flu game, but it's more like Jamarcus Russell. Oh, man. Josh is absolutely right. It is exciting times, and we definitely need to focus on the Ravens. You're right. Can't lose because this is a Super Bowl preview most likely. But if they lose this game, right, they still get the number one seed, and it could be something where they fuel for revenge. But, hey, man, I don't want to see this team lose to the freaking Ravens, man. We've lost to the Ravens enough. To be honest, from a Niners fan, I'm happy to see Drew Lock actually play good. No, absolutely. I'm happy for the guy. You know, this guy's been through a lot in the league. He was on Denver, and, you know, he just didn't pan out. And shout out to him, man. It's nice when you see the underdogs or players that struggle through their career have a good game and play good. So, yeah, absolutely, man. I'm happy for the guy. Drip says, I really think we could win it all. We absolutely have a chance. Look at this team is so good. This team is so good. They have the best players, like, on every aspect of this team. Fullback, tight end, wide receivers, offensive lineman, quarterback, running back, linebacker, defensive end. Like, they have some of the best players. Cornerback, with some respect to Mooney Ward. They have some of the best talent at every position, man. And if they stay healthy, the sky's the limit. My man Throwback says, I've never seen RSF 49ers this happy. Bro, this is one of the best days. This whole season has been so fun. So fun. So fun. Our bench can beat the Lambs. I don't know about that. Rams are playing good football, guys. They are actually playing. They're 7-7. The NFC's crazy, right? Actually, right now. Actually crazy. Mahomes and Hurts thought they were Jordan with that flu game. Mahomes hasn't been the same this year. I know they don't have a good receiver core, but, man, Mahomes is crying like a baby. He's, like, throwing temper tantrums. I've never seen Mahomes act this way. It's actually kind of funny. And Jalen Hurts, he's without the tush push. Without the tush push, Jalen Hurts is not an elite quarterback. Well, okay, he's an elite quarterback, but without the tush push, you take away a lot of his stats because I know he tied Cam Newton for most rushing touchdowns by a quarterback in a season. You take away that tush push, how many touchdowns does he really have? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. He's a tush push merchant. They want to talk about Brock Purdy being a yak merchant, a dink and dunk guy. Let's talk about Jalen Hurts. He's a tush push merchant. Nobody says anything because he's athletic, because he can throw the ball deep. Oh, because he runs the ball. He's a mobile quarterback. Brock Purdy owned him. Brock Purdy owned that man. In the link. Tush push merchant, baby. Tush push merchant, man. Yeah, Mahomes is definitely different this season. Absolutely. I don't see the same, like, fire out of him. I feel like I've never seen Mahomes cry and be, like, disrespectful. And last week with the whole Kadarius Toney situation, like, I've never seen that out of Mahomes. He's definitely changed a lot this year. Definitely. Man. Real Spider-Man says, doesn't this make it more likely for us to bench our starters? I mean, it probably makes us want to bench some of our players, give them some rest, and try not to get them hurt. But I feel like there's also a balance. What you guys said, someone in the comments earlier says, I don't want them to get rusty. There's going to be a balance. You don't want to get players rusty, but at the same time, you don't want to risk them to get hurt. But players, they got incentives in their contract. The players are going to want to play. Players are going to want to play. It's football. They're going to want to play. But at the same time, like, yeah, maybe third quarter, fourth quarter comes. If they're up big, they're going to take their starters out. And the 49ers have a lot of good younger players, a lot of good depth. So you get to let them grow and develop and utilize those guys a little bit. So it's nice for the younger players to step up. It does give the 49ers a little bit of flexibility if they have some injuries, not to rush anybody, right? Armstead, Hargrave, they're coming off of injuries. And if they're not 100% after the Baltimore game, if they play this week, let's say they're a little rusty or they're feeling a little banged up after the Baltimore game, then yeah, you rest the guy like Hargrave. You rest the guy like Armstead a little bit. Don't let them play the full game so they can come back in the playoffs like 100%. So, yeah, absolutely. It does give them some opportunities to rest players, but at the same time, it also gives them that chance to develop some younger guys. So, it's just nice, man, that the Niners are dominating the league. Kedge beats it. Big Trent needs some rest. Bro, get that man a rest. He was tired last game. You saw that video. He's slumped. He was tired, bro. But Trent Williams carries this offensive line. He's playing so physical, man. I love Trent Williams. I've never seen an offensive lineman like this guy. Like, no disrespect to any other lineman in the league, but the last 2 decades, I don't think there's been a better lineman than Trent Williams, offensive tackle than Trent Williams. Like, this guy, what other offensive lineman, other tackle in the league gets highlights posted, gets highlight packed? Like, it's rare to see offensive linemen get like highlight packages mic'd up. Bro, this is a lineman that's getting mic'd up on certain weeks, and they're running like there's full highlight clips of Trent Williams. This guy is amazing, man. I'm gonna be sad the day he retires. He deserves a ring, but yeah, Trent doesn't. He deserves a rest, man. He deserves a rest. Oh man, Niners fan, depressed Niners fan says, I can't wait to hear Uncle Sherm tomorrow. I can't either, man. If we win a bowl, does Trent retire? Says Eric. It's a good question. I talked to one of my buddies today. He says Trent can't retire. He can't, man. You got to run it back. But I honestly feel there's a strong chance if the 49ers win a Super Bowl, Trent might hang it up, man. I do think that he will. I think there's a strong possibility. Now, let's not. I don't want to cross that path until we have to, because that's sad to think about, man. But I mean, he's played for a long time, with 13, 14 seasons. He's battled cancer. He's a Hall of Famer. There's like nothing else that he needs to do to prove himself in this league. He's got multiple Pro Bowls, all pros. The guy's a legend, but he does need to win a Super Bowl. That's the one thing left. If he wins it, he could ride off in the sunset, man. So I wouldn't be mad at him if he retired. I'd be so sad, man. I'd be so sad to see Trent go. He's a stud, man. He's a stud. Julia says, if Trent Williams retires, Tristan Wirfs trade. I said this a couple weeks ago. I said if Trent Williams retires, if I'm John Lynch, I'm finding every single way to get a guy like Tristan Wirfs, because you're not going to replace Trent Williams in the draft. You're not just going to get any geek off the street. As good as there's linemen out there to develop, you need a guy that's already like established and a star in this league, and Tristan Wirfs could be that guy. So, man. Russell says, after watching his documentary on Prime, I don't see him retiring after one ring. I don't know. He is hungry, but, last year when at the end of the season, he says, the season takes its toll on you, and at some point you got to start thinking about that stuff. So, I don't know, man. It is crazy to think, but you're right. Win for Trent, says Danny. Win for Trent, man. I love that guy, man. What about Rashawn Slater for left tackle? I mean, he's great too. So, man. Omar says, is Hargrave looking like he's going to play? So he has a hamstring. Kyle Shanahan said today that he's got a chance to play this week, but they haven't practiced yet. So we'll see. Let's see how this week goes in practice. Hamstring injuries are tough, guys, and he's a very physical player inside the trenches. We'll see how practice goes, but hamstring injuries are a little dicey. So, man, I don't know. Win for Trent. I like it. We got to get that trending this soon. We got to say win for Trent. Win for Trent, man. We're going to get that. If the 49ers are in the Super Bowl, we're going to use this hashtag, win for Trent. Okay? We're going to do it. Yeah, it's going to be hard to replace him. Absolutely, guys. We know. It's tough, man. I'm going to be honest. I don't see how the boys miss the game unless they're badly hurt. I mean, this is definitely one of the biggest games of the year. These guys are going to try to get up and play it. So, I probably... If I had to bet, I would bet they'd play. But, hey, man, you also have to look at the long haul of the season. Like, this is a regular season game. It's a very important regular season game. But I feel like the 49ers know that they got bigger work to do. And if push comes to shove, if they're really not 100%, they're going to sacrifice, this for the greater good of the rest of the season, because they got to be healthy and ready to go in the playoffs, man. So, I don't know. It's going to be a touch-and-go type situation, so. Oh my God, my man says Drew Lock's game-winning drive tonight fed families in America, bro. That was a great moment for Drew Lock, man. Shout out to Drew Lock. He needed that. Like, It's a big moment for the guy. I feel happy for him, you know? That's cool. Good for him. Good for Big Drew, man. He needed to put some good film on tape. Um, that's a good move for him. Shout out to the Seahawks, man. They did that thing. Pete Carroll, man. Shout out to Pete Carroll. This man is getting as old as dirt, and he's still out there. Hell of a coach. Like, he would not be denied. He didn't let this team go down without a fight. So good for Pete, man. The gum chewer. Got to finish the bird hunt. Oh man, that's gonna be stuff. My man Russell says, "Don't forget to smash that like button." That's right, baby. Smash that like button. Help the channel grow. There's 170 people on the live today. Shout out to you guys. This is a very active crowd tonight. We are all hyped. We are all hyped up that Seattle beat the Philadelphia Eagles. So please make sure you hit that like button. Shout out to all the faithful that support the page. Shout out to the faithful that were at the game this weekend. Good times. I saw a lot of you guys. Shout out to Gold Bar Whiskey. Shout out to Sleeper Fantasy, everybody else that's helping me do my thing. But good stuff this weekend. The 49ers took care of business, and that's really what they got to do. They have to continue to hold on and take care of their business. They can't rely on anybody else. They got to be able to hold on and just win the games for themselves. They can't rely on anybody else. So, Purdy for MVP. Eagles exposed once again, says Jaime Hernandez. Absolutely. It's great, man. Everything's rolling in the Niners' way. Gino wouldn't have won that game tonight, says Showboat. Oh, what do you guys think? You think Gino wouldn't have won that game? I don't either. I think Drew Lock, that was a legacy drive. Like, I don't know if Gino would have won that game if he had a game-winning drive, because he's been kind of not so hot in the end of games. I agree with you, Showboat. I don't think that Geno Smith wins that game tonight. That's a bold take, but I do agree. I agree with that. I mean, Drew Lock, man, I didn't expect him to come in and do what he did, but he was playing for the moment. He had the adrenaline pumping. The defense of the Seattle Seahawks, man, they played it. They played the way they had to play it, and they gave Drew the opportunities. And DK Metcalf, honestly, man, DK, he came into his own at the end of the game. So Jordan says, are the Eagles and the Cowboys truly frauds? What do you guys think? I mean, we all see that the Niners cooked them both. I think the Cowboys are definitely frauds. They're one of those teams that every single year, the Eagles, or not the Eagles, the Cowboys are a good regular season team, come to the playoffs, and they disappear and they fall apart. The Eagles, I mean, like we said, Nick Bosa told everybody, the guy's a blueprint. We exposed them. They're absolutely frauds. Jalen Hurts, you take away the tush push, he doesn't even have that many touchdowns, you know? A.J. Brown, he's kind of a hothead. He got pissed off. Bradbury, trash. Their secondary's bad. This is what we said when we played him a couple of weeks ago. What did we say? We said that the Eagles' secondary is their big flaw, and they are very susceptible to getting beat deep. And that's what happened tonight. DK Metcalf and Njigba cooked them up top. That's what you do. You throw on. Bradbury is not good. Debo never lied to us. They got a great offensive line. They got a great defensive line. But if you can hold your blocks, you got time to throw on these guys. It's over. It's wraps. It's wraps. Russell Garcia says Jalen has 19 touchdowns and 12 picks. 12 picks. That's twice as much as Brock Purdy. 12 picks, ladies and gentlemen. Brock Purdy has 10 more passing touchdowns than Jalen Hurts. You know who leads the NFL in passing touchdowns? That's right. Brock Purdy, baby. Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy, baby. I love it, man. I love it. I love this team. It's a special feeling, guys. It's a special, special feeling, and I'm happy to be part of it, man. Eagles fans, can you guys hear me? You can't hear me because it's very quiet. You can't hear me because Eagles fans are quiet. They're not talking. Yeah, Eagles fans are silent. Quiet. Man. Christine says, Victory Monday has been beautiful. Cowgirls and Eagles lost their games. Is beautiful. It's been a great Victory Monday. It's been a very, very good Victory Monday, man. Good day. A good day to be alive. Every day is a good day to be alive. But today especially, it's a great time to be a Niners fan. Listen, the 49ers, they lost 3 games, okay? After that, they said, all right, let's figure this out. Let's figure this out. Boom. What did they do? They go and get Chase Young. Boom. What did they do? They won 6 games in a row. Boom, what did they do? They beat the Eagles. They gave the blueprint out to the rest of the NFL. Boom, what did they do? Get the number 1 seed. Boom, what did they do? Win the NFC West for the 2nd straight year. Boom, the 49ers are the hottest team in the NFL. They're the best team in the NFL. And it's phenomenal times, guys. Real Spider-Man says, you like this? Oh, he says that shirt is tough. Y'all like this shirt? Shout out to Fresh Society. I love this shirt. Let's check. Let's get a little, there it is, a little close up. F Philly. Sincerely, Niner Gang. It's a phenomenal shirt. I got one for the Cowboys and the Seahawks, but tonight I felt like this was the one. This was the one. Jonathan says the Purdy cements his MVP against the Ravens with 3+ touchdowns. If Brock Purdy gets 3 touchdowns and the Niners beat the Ravens, absolutely Brock Purdy for MVP. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. Now, I know he said himself, you give the MVP to CMC because he's a humble king. He's a humble young man. But Brock Purdy should be the MVP. This man's going to set the franchise record in passing yards, guys. He's going to set the passing record of all-time season by the 40. He's going to throw more yards by any quarterback in the history of the 49ers in one season. Do you know what quarterbacks this team has had? Joe Montana, Steve Young, Hall of Famers. Jeff Garcia wasn't bad either. He's going to throw more yards in a season than all of those guys. Fuck, man. I'm so happy for this guy. He's going to get paid. He's going to get paid, man. I don't believe he is going to get that bag. I see the shirt. Here we go. God, I love Brock Purdy. It's just so nice to not have any problems with the quarterback position. God, man. I love it. I absolutely love it, man. I love it. You know how many years we sat here? Going, we need a franchise quarterback. Who are we drafting a quarterback? Every single year the discourse was quarterback. And now we're blessed with Brock Purdy, man. It is refreshing, Christine. I need to get me a Brock Purdy jersey. That's the next thing on my wish list. Man. Eric says, any chance Purdy and CMC share MVP? Honestly, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think they're going to do a co-MVP. No, I don't think so. I think they'll give, in that sense, they'll probably give CMC the Offensive Player of the Year, and they'll choose an MVP. It'll be Brock, but I don't think they go co-MVPs. That'd be crazy. It's not NBA, right? Co-Rookies of the Year, remember the year Grant Hill and Jason Kidd? I'm dating myself now. Jason Kidd and Grant Hill back in the NBA, 1994, maybe 95, something like that. Both of those guys they both won Rookie of the Year because they were both so cold-blooded, bro. Grant Hill was the next Jordan till he got hurt, and then Jason Kidd was the next Magic. Those were the 2 best rookies in the NBA for years. But the NBA's no, we can't choose. You guys are going to be co-MVP or co-Rookie of the Years. Co-Rookie of the Years. I don't think that's going to happen in the NFL. Share the MVP. You can't do it. But it'll be dope. Showboat says CMC surpasses Jerry Rice's single-season touchdown record this year. He's 3 away from tying Jerry Rice, a single-season franchise record of 23 touchdowns in a season. That's crazy, man. Christian McCaffrey is having an all-time season. Absolutely amazing, man. Absolutely love Christian McCaffrey, dude. Peyton Manning and Steve McNair shared MVP. Was that the last time? They shared an MVP? But not on the same team. That's crazy. My man, Big Aaron, 49ers First Takes podcast, co-host on the week. He says Niners can clinch home field with 2 victories in the last 3 games. Rogers the go. Appreciate you. What's up, Aaron? My boy. Appreciate it. Thanks for the super chat. $5 make me holla. He says Niners can clinch home field with 2 victories in the last 3 games. Let's talk about those last 3 games. They got the Ravens. They got the Commanders on New Year's Eve. They got the Ravens on Christmas. They got the Commanders on New Year's Eve. And then the LA Rams, the team that the Niners own. Dominate. Own them. Deebo Samuel owns them. He's got part ownership in that team. It's at stake. He's got a 401k on them. Bonds and stocks. Beat LA. They just got to win 2 of those games, guys. 2 of those games. And they're the number 1 seed. I love it, man. I love it. Absolutely love it, man. Absolutely love it. Real Spider-Man says the only reason the 49ers will lose if they bench their starters. Yeah, Rams are playing for a playoff spot, so I'll take the Ravens and Commanders, says Cosmo, and rest the players week 18. If the 49ers can beat the Ravens, that is so huge because you're right. They can actually rest the starters in week 18 and give them a little breather, because if they don't win against the Ravens, that last game they got to kind of really show up so they can get that number 1 seed, because you can't just expect to beat the Rams. I know that we probably say, we're going to beat the Rams with our backups. It's still a team you got to play for. It's a division game. They're going to play tough. They're not going to go down without a fight. The Rams are tough. They got McVay. It's pride on the line, and they are fighting for a playoff spot. And look what happened last night. The Cardinals played our ass tough because it's a division game. Look what happened to Seattle. Division game. They played tough, man. These teams are not going to go down without a fight, especially if it's a division. So I'd like to be able to rest against the Rams, but it's going to be what it is. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun 3 games, guys. Enjoy this. The season's almost over. Regular season's almost over. And then the playoffs, and then as soon as blink your eye, snap your fingers, it's February and the season's over. Eric says the Rams don't want to be swept again. Absolutely not. They don't want to be swept again. They don't want to be embarrassed by the Niners. If the 49ers beat the Rams, they've swept every single NFC West opponent for the last 2 years. Do you know how incredible that is? 6-0 last year in the regular season. Then they go and beat Seattle in the playoffs. And then this year they haven't lost to any NFC West team. It's unreal. It's unreal. 2 weeks off. Yeah, Boogie, that's what we were saying. Like, it could be a lot of time. So that's the only drawback, if there is a drawback, of having the bye week. But it helps you refresh. Yeah, right? So, yeah. It's going to be fun, guys. It's going to be fun. Regardless of how this plays out, it's going to be fun. Playoffs are going to be a vibe. I can't wait. I don't know if I'm going to go to one of the playoff games. I guess I have to go to the NFC Championship game if they make it, but I kind of want to save my money and go to the Super Bowl. I don't know if they make it. Definitely got to go to the Super Bowl if they make it. It's a once in a lifetime, but should I go to the other playoff games if they make it there? They're going to make playoffs, but I don't know if I want to go. Not that I don't want to go see a playoff game, but just got to think about the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? I got to save the money for the Super Bowl. So we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be fun. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Yeah. Christine says, can't believe the season is almost over. It goes by too fast. It really does. It goes way too fast, man. With the bye, the Niners get good film on the opponents. Yeah, it's going to be nice to chill, relax, watch some football on the weekend, and not have to worry. And just chill for a week and be a fan if the 49ers get the bye week. I love that, actually. When the 49ers don't play and they're on the bye week, I actually enjoy it, because for me, I get a little rest. I don't enjoy not watching the 49ers. I love when they're on, but those weeks, those bye weeks, it's a nice little refreshing rest, a little reset break, So, GoFundMe for Raj, hey, I'm telling you, if you guys want to start a GoFundMe to get me to Super Bowl, I'm not going to turn it down. I would definitely welcome that, but you don't have to. A good rest mentally, says Sal. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, mentally, running a big page like this, being a content creator, sometimes you just need a little breather. So it is nice to have those weeks in the season. So I try to take advantage of those weeks and just rest up. But I love when the Niners play. It is boring when they're not playing, though, for sure. Do I think that the bye week would mess up the momentum we have? No, absolutely not, because this is what the 49ers have been fighting for, right? Every season we're like, gotta get that number 1 seed, gotta get the number 1 seed. I think it's going to help them because they'll be refreshed. They'll get to lick their wounds. They'll get to rest up. That rest is so crucial, guys. That rest is so crucial. These other teams are going to be tired. I'd be limping into the games. Like, look what the 49ers had to do over the last couple of years. Travel, travel, travel. Game after game. It's an extra season, you know? Like, look at the year in 2021 when they made it to the NFC Championship game against the Rams. They had to go on the road to Dallas. They had to go on the road to Green Bay. They had to go on the road to LA. By the time they got to LA, man, they ran out of steam. That's a lot of travel. I went to 2 games that year in the playoffs. I didn't play. Bro, by the time the Rams game came, I was like, after that game, I was tired. I was like, can you imagine the players? So, yeah, it is nice. I think it's going to help them out to get that extra rest. And teams have to travel to the Niners. They have to travel to Levi's. And you know how good this fan base is? Did you guys see the report? Freaking 48% of fans every time they go out on a road game, at the very least. Dude, Niners travel very well. You guys are amazing fans. I was at Arizona this weekend, and it was a home game. I tell you what, it was a Niners home game. A Niners home game. It was unbelievable, man. Alexander said that John Lynch has put together a dream team. He really has. It's like the Avengers, right? Susan says, who's America's team? It is the Niners. They're the true America's team. It is truly like the Avengers, man. Russell says, to hear the Purdy chants on TV yesterday was insane. To be there and being part of that, the Brock Purdy chants were incredible, Russell. Like, it was amazing. Like, everybody was so hyped when he came back together. This right here is the truest statement, Danny. So, one thing that I learned in Arizona this weekend is that their fan base absolutely hates their team. They do not support the Cardinals. There's no Arizona fans in terms of Cardinals. Like, they hate the Arizona Cardinals. They hate them. They're fans of other teams. One of my Uber drivers, like, he was like, oh, you going to Niner game? We were talking. He goes, I go, are you a Cardinals fan? He's like, are you serious? He goes, I hate the Cardinals. They suck. He goes, they're a garbage team. He goes, I'm a Steelers fan. I was like, bro, you're a Steelers fan? I was like, you guys played in the Super Bowl a couple years back? He goes, yeah, you know who I was rooting for? Not the Cardinals. I was like, God, dog, man, they hate them. Everybody I asked, like, we were talking, because, I was wearing Niner gear. Like, oh, you going to the game? Going to the game? And the hotel lady at the front desk, I was like, oh, are you a Arizona fan? She goes, no, Arizona sucks. They hate that team, man. It was funny. They hate the Cardinals. So, yeah, my man Danny says, I moved to Arizona from LA, and besides basketball, the fan base is a ghost town. Absolutely. The only team they like is Phoenix, and then when they get to the playoffs, they fall apart and disappear, and then they hate them too. So, Josh says, coming from the Bay Area and moving to AZ and being here the last 8 years, all Arizona natives hate the Arizona. That's what I felt. That's the vibe I got. Like, people hate the Cardinals. I don't think they really like the Phoenix Suns, but they root for them because they're actually winning, and then they hate them after. And Diamondbacks, I never met a Diamondbacks fan my whole life. I know when they went to the World Series back in the 90s against the Yankees. I don't even think they like that team. Honestly, I don't think they like. The Diamondbacks have no fan base. Oh, man. So, fun stuff, man. Niners, #1 seed. They got a full game lead on everybody else. They control their destiny, really. They win 2 games, and it's wraps, baby. Wraps. I can't believe the Eagles lost to the Seagulls, but the Ravens game is a must-win. Says Cameron. It is a must-win. Hurts is showing us why Saban went with Tua over him. Ooh, Russell cooking on that one. Wow. That's a shot. Nick Saban did take Tua over Hurts. Sheesh. Wow. Unbelievable. Woo! Let's see. #1 seed is the 49ers to lose. Absolutely. What's the tiebreaker scenario with the Lions? It's a good question. I know they have a tiebreaker over Philly and the Eagles, or Philly and Dallas, but I don't even think the Lions have a chance if they end up with the same record. I don't know. That's a good question. I'll have to look into. Let me see. take a look. Let's take a look at some scenarios here. Let's see. I mean, the Lions are 10-4. But the 49ers, they probably have a better record against winning opponents, against common opponents. They probably have a better, points for, points against. I think the 49ers probably hold every tiebreaker against the Lions, just off the top of my head. But let's take a look at the Lions' last 3 games. They have the Vikings, the Cowboys, and the Vikings. So 2 of their last 3 games are against the Vikings. That'll probably determine their division. And they got the Cowboys. Lions got a little tough route. I don't think we have to worry about the Lions. I'm not gonna lie to you. Cowboys, who do they play? Who do they play these last 3? Let's take a look at the Cowboys' last couple of games. They play, let's see, the Dolphins. Ooh, that's a tough game. Then they play the Lions, like we just mentioned. So they got the Dolphins, the Lions, and the Commanders. Oh, wow. Cowboys got a tough matchup. Niners are going to get the number 1 seed, guys. The Eagles, let's take a look at their games. They get to play the Giants on Monday night. Tommy DeVito, baby! And they get the Cardinals. They should be able to beat the Cardinals. And then they get the Giants again. Finish the season against Tommy DeVito. I hope Tommy DeVito and the Giants beat them twice this year. Let's go. Tommy DeVito, that's my guy. He's going to cook the Eagles, man. Eagles are on fraud alert. I love it. I love it. Cowboys are going to beat the Lions, but the Cowboys will lose to Miami. I hope so. Sheesh, man. Going to be fun, guys. But with that, I'm going to probably head out here. Maybe I'll hop on IG real quick. So, you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Appreciate you guys for tapping in. 173 viewers on the live tonight on YouTube. That's awesome, man. Keep them numbers rolling in. I appreciate the support on the YouTube. We're really growing. We're really grinding. I put in the work here, just like we do on all the other channels. And thank you guys for the support. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell your friends, tell your enemies. Your boy's on Instagram. He's on Twitter. He's on YouTube. He's all over the place. I appreciate you guys. Thank you to everybody that watched tonight. Shout out to the sponsors, Gold Bar Whiskey. Thank you for letting me go to Arizona and have a great time. Shout out to the faithful. Appreciate you guys. Thanks to everybody that I met this weekend. And if I didn't, I'm sorry. I'll try to meet you at the next game. I appreciate you guys. I love you. I got to get some sleep because guess what? I got to work tomorrow. Fuck, man. Y'all have a good night. I love you. Bang, bang.